Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And I've got a good one for you today. Just at the park real quick. And the Fed had its meeting today and announced an interest rate increase of 25 basis points. And I want to cover that real quick and how this is going to affect everything moving forward and what was not said by Jerome Powell. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And let's get right into it. Jerome Powell, the Fed had their meeting yesterday and today. And remember a year ago when they had this meeting and they were at Jackson Hole. And Jerome Powell, after they did their rate increase, and by the way, they raised interest rates a quarter of a point, the highest level in 22 years. Okay? That's not the worst part about this. The worst part about this was what he said going forward and what he didn't say. So first things first, this quarter of a point bump, people are saying, that's no big deal. We're expecting it. It's built into the system. Don't worry about it. No. This is going to affect everything in each of our lives in a huge, huge way. Everything is going to be more expensive immediately. Everything that you have on credit is going to go up. And that includes energy prices too as a result of this, because people don't want to sit there and admit that credit rules everything. When you look at Ben Bernanke, I mentioned this the other day, he's an expert on the Depression, and that's where he did his thesis, and that's where he studied. And in one sense, he's brilliant in this area because he understands what the flow of credit does for businesses and the lack of credit and how it destroys households, it destroys businesses, it destroys communities, it destroys states and then countries. It's that simple. And you can sit there and say, oh, Dan, that's kind of dramatic. Well, Steve sent me a great email today talking about how we've got so much credit. Now, understand this, the number that we keep hearing about consumer credit is that we're at $988 billion. It's not $988 billion. It's over $1 billion now. But we have numbers from the first quarter. We don't have the current numbers. That's going at a record pace. If you look at Bank of America, if you look at the PacWest situation, Bank of California that took that over, that's ridiculous. Understand this. When you have a top 100 bank that gets taken over by a much smaller bank for shenanigans, I mean, it was basically a Jamie Dimon deal where they did a stock swap and these people got their bank taken over. It's horrible. Okay. But what Steve wrote me was like, hey, Dan, can people refinance this debt? This is the kiss of death. People sit there and think, we're going to borrow all this money over here at 25 to 30% interest rate. And then we're going to, make the minimum payment, and then we'll refinance when interest rates are going to go down. Interest rates are at a 22-year high. What makes you think that interest rates are going to drop? Okay, there's experts saying, oh, we're going to have to dramatically lower interest rates. You can talk about that all you want. You can talk about, anything. But the likelihood that interest rates are going to fall anytime soon is laughable. Now, what Jerome Powell did with this talk is that someone sobered this guy up and said, do not say anything that's going to alert them, that's going to alarm the markets like you did last year. Don't say anything off the cuff. Just be really calm, cool, and collected. What does he do? Comes out and says it's a quarter point bump. I don't know if we're going to have to raise any interest rates. We may have to. We will discuss that further later. Again, what was not said? What was not said was the severity of the banking problem. Didn't really mention inflation. If it's not under control like this guy thinks it is. These walkways, see if I can do this without getting murdered out here. Okay, so if you see this video, I lived through it. How about that? So you can't have it every way everybody wants it. This is going to destroy real estate in such a big way, because what we're seeing right now is that houses are sitting on the market longer. Yes, you have hot communities that are getting through this right now. It's happening, okay? They're getting prices raised. You're seeing deals sent to me that are over ask, $50,000 over ask. You don't know what you're talking about. Then you get Jessica that writes me. Jessica says, listen, Dan, my nephew is a new agent. We want to sell our house and we really want to list it with him, but he just doesn't have the experience and we don't have the heart to tell him. Now, here's the thing. If you were a friend of mine, client, subscriber, I'll tell you the same thing. Here's the thing that people don't want to do. You know, your nephew looks at the price of your house and he's sitting there saying, oh, it's worth X and my commission's going to be this. I pay my broker that I work for quarter, 3/4 of a point or whatever he pays. And that's what he's going to make. Well, instead, what this kid should do is he should go to the most experienced agent he can find in the area, either in his office or in the area that's going to move properties. I'm not talking about somebody that's really cool with great pictures that's just going to put a sign in front of the house. I'm talking about somebody with buyers, somebody that's going to move the property. That's who he needs to team up with and split the commission with that guy. That's the advice I gave her. That's the advice I would give you, because guys, this party, real estate party, is going to come to an end very soon. You don't need to believe it. You can think anything you want of me. It makes no difference, because I'm on the sidelines. I'm the guy looking, oh, let's see, that fourplex looks nice. No. It's over market and this place is this, and you've got to look and do your research. But if you think you want to sell your house, don't sell it just for the sake of selling it. Don't sell it just for me. Sell it because you have to sell it, but have a plan. And also get out now while you can, because I'm telling you, I truly believe that in 4 or 5 months, you're going to see things drop more and more and more. All the people that are experienced, the mortgage brokers and everybody that's talking about house payments, mortgage payments, well over 8%. That's crazy, Dan. Who can afford that? And then I get the old timers, and I love you guys, okay? But when you had your house, it was 1/10 of what they were now. And you can talk about how interest rates were at 14%, and that was a big deal, and it was a big deal. It really was. But this is not going to be good when you have houses at $800,000 for a shack. That is not something that anybody can live with. It's not normal, and it's nothing. Flies around me. Okay? This debt that we have is a problem, and nobody wants to look at that. Nobody wants to sit there and say that the consumer credit is upside down. People are not working. You've got kids like my son who, hey, you know what, I'll work 12 hours here. I'll work 12 hours. I'll do whatever it takes. Okay? But he's living in a dorm someplace. Understand? He doesn't care. He does. If he made $300 this week, it's, oh, wow, I made $300. He's not worried about his bills right now. The rest of us that have to make electricity payments and make the car payment and things like that, those people are really in trouble right now. And that's what people don't want to talk about. People don't want to admit that this is as severe as it is right now. The Jerome Powell thing, man, was this guy tapered. Man, was this guy not himself, okay? And talking about how bad things could be and where things are headed. No, we'll just take a look and see. Okay, well, what about the fix? What about 2% inflation? What about how great everything's going to be right now? None of that, guys. None of that. So share your thoughts on this stuff, guys. But the idea of refinancing this credit card debt is crazy. Steve's a nice man. Steve sends me emails and stuff. But think about this. I have talked to so many mortgage people that talk about the circle of finance and the circle of debt that people get themselves into, which is horrific. And what they do is they go out and they say, okay, honey, this is it. This is the last time we're ever going to do this. We're going to go out and we're going to take our $60,000 in credit card debt. We're going to wrap it all together in one payment and tie it to the house and then refinance it. Okay, great. Done it over and over and over again. And then what happens is, they get disciplined. They get a little religion. They don't drink for a little bit. You know what I mean? Then all of a sudden they go, you know what? I want that TV set. I want to go spend money. And then they go out and they borrow against the credit cards again. And before you know it, the 40 grand's back up there. But now they owe that against their house too. Okay? So we've all been in financial difficulties and financial problems in our lives. But man, oh man, what happens with this is people do it over and over again. The only problem this time is that interest rates are going in the other direction. So if you think you're going to refinance everything and get yourself out of this, I love Dave Ramsey. His advice is get yourself out of debt. But the Dave Ramsey thing of like, hey, just refinance that house so the interest rates go down. Barbara Corcoran, it's not going to happen because the housing prices are going to go down in value. They just have to. They're not going to continue to shoot up, and you are kidding yourself if you think they are. So share your thoughts on this stuff, and share your thoughts on this, and let me know. This guy keeps circling. I keep trying to drive away from this guy, and I keep running into him. So anyways, okay. So let me know what you think about this. Just wanted to do a quick video, but this is not going to go down. The Fed raising the interest rates, this is not going to end well, okay? And 22-year high for interest rates, it's something that we all need to look at. And the other thing that you need to look at is you need to look at the fact that housing prices right now and the time on market is a real problem. Now, I get people that go, oh, Huntington Beach, California, Dan, things are still moving fast. Not so fast, they're not. You got some neighborhoods that people are delusional and buying stuff, but I am telling you, you've got tracts that a year ago were 600, year and a half ago, 600,000. Now they're 1.2 million. Hello, that's crazy. That's crazy. I met a person that bought a house for $676,000, and I shook this guy's hand and told him what a genius he was. Really, I thought we paid too much for it. Oh yeah, the house across the street is over $1.1 million now. Oh, wow, really? Well, we're never moving. Okay, great, never moving. Share your thoughts on this stuff. Let everybody know. Share the video. But again, this whole thing is a mess. This is a concerning situation. And if you believe that Jerome Powell's not going to raise interest rates again, I'm sorry. I really don't. It's going to happen over and over again. So don't forget to join the email list. The link is below. I forgot to say that earlier. And onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.